Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Multiversal Musings. So today, that cheeky son of a gun, that James Gunn, cheeky as he is, decided to absolutely confuse the hell out of me by saying, "Oh yeah, well, Lanterns teaser tomorrow," and he drops it right now. Well, he drops it an hour ago. I'm that late to the party. I'm tired of the party. Now, I love Lanterns. It should come as no secret to you guys that I absolutely adore the Green Lanterns. I love the Green Lantern Corps. I love John Stewart. I love Guy Gardner. I love Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan's my boy. I even love Alan Scott, but Hal Jordan's my boy. And I have been so hyped. When James Gunn did that announcement, I don't know when it was, like 2022, I think, like 4 years ago now, which is terrifying. He said that Lanterns was going to be a big part of the DCU. And I was so hyped for that because even though I really disliked the Snyderverse, I didn't really like it that much. I didn't think it captured the spirit of those characters that I love with all my heart. I really loved. I felt there was an. Jeez, I can't speak. Even though I didn't like the DCU stuff at all, I still would have wanted a Green Lantern's appearance. Now I know obviously they didn't do that because obviously the Ryan Reynolds film had come out not that long at that point, and that kind of ruined the public perception of Green Lantern. And I'm not a big fan of that film. There are moments of that film I like, but for the most part, I'm pretty disappointed. I think it starts off quite fine, and then it kind of it kills like Parallax in the same film where he becomes Green Lantern. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, I have been starving for some DCU content since season 2 of Peacemaker ended last year. I mean, it was like October or something. It was ages. So it's been a good 6 months or something with sort of nothing new except for a Supergirl teaser, which I really enjoyed, and I broke it down this channel. So I wanted to do the same for Lanterns, and I am going to watch it, I'm going to react to it, and then after I watch it a couple of times, I'm going to break down some stuff. So yeah, very excited. Let's get it watched.
With all
Okay.
due respect, we've been training for what?
I'm so excited.
And I haven't even worn the ring yet.
Okay, so he's been training. Okay.
Don't get hung up on the jewelry, Junior. You're just a fucking substitute teacher. You're not ready to get up in front of the class till the ring says you are.
Alright.
Yeah, this was in the other teaser, wasn't it? This was in the sneak peek.
I could have died.
You want me to train you? I'm training you. Something is off here. I can feel it.
I'm very curious as to where this is going.
This is my town. You're a big shot. Noted. But stay the fuck out of my way.
Think she hates your guts.
It's the way she hates them.
Okay.
It's a stupid plan.
Okay.
Stuper.
That I don't doubt. The Green Lantern.
Oh!
We both know I do a better job of this than you.
Oh shit.
This is my job. As long as I'm alive, that ain't changing. So take a deep breath, Junior.
You're old. You're tired.
Oh yeah!
Your time is up.
I don't understand. Who are you exactly?
Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes,
You
August.
ever talk with the other lanterns?
I'm the only human. They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel.
Yeah, man, awesome. Awesome. Yeah, really enjoyed that. That bit where he was flying, though, I wish he had a bit of a green glow. But man, other than that, I'm just hyped. I think I'm so starved for Lanterns content in live action. I'll take anything, you know. I'm gonna watch that again, and I'm gonna kind of go through it, and we're gonna sort of kind of break stuff down. I like it. It's more gritty than I was expecting. Actually, it's a bit sweary and stuff, which is fine by me. I don't mind that. But I wasn't expecting that for some reason. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier in the stream, but I'm a bit sick, as you can tell. I sound like I'm dying. I feel fine. I think it's just I've got a bit of a cough, mucousy cough kind of thing, but I'm fine. But so I like the Western vibe. I like that a lot. I think that really works. And I tell you why I think it works, because, and I can't talk for Supergirl yet, because I think this was supposed to come out before Supergirl. But Supergirl looks like there is bits in that where it's in a desert. So I don't know how I feel about that. But I like the sort of Western vibe. It looks a bit different than in Superman and Peacemaker. So I like that. Different tone. Cool. It's sort of, I wouldn't say edgy, but that sort of gritty tone, a bit more sweary and stuff like that, does kind of remind me a bit of Peacemaker, which is cool. I do like that. So it's interesting that they've got different tones in the DCU already. I really like that. This does not feel like Superman, which is cool. Now, you know me, I love Superman, but I would like each DC project to feel different, and I think that's something that James Gunn has said is going to happen. So that's, I just watch it again. I just want to watch it again. Things will come to me as I watch it.
With all due respect,
I like the music
I've been
too,
training
actually.
For what, 2 months? And I haven't even worn the ring yet.
So that's really interesting. So he's been training for 2 months. So I don't get that. So he's been training to be a Lantern. So John Stewart's been training to be a Lantern, but he's not even worn the ring. So am I missing something? But the ring chooses you, right? So I don't understand. Is John Stewart like actually been chosen by the Guardians, or is Hal Jordan kind of went, oh, this guy's got promise, I want to train him to be a Green Lantern, and he's kind of going up against the grain of the Lanterns. Is that kind of what's going on there? That seems quite interesting. I know Hal Jordan's a hot shot, and you know he's reckless, as we see in this, and obviously as we see throughout the trailer, he is very much like that interpretation of Hal Jordan. But it does feel a bit odd that he's been training for 2 months and he hasn't won the ring. I find that very interesting. I want to see that cleared up, because if the rumors were to be believed, it was supposed to be that these guys were going to be investigating a murder mystery, and the murdered person in question was going to be Alan Scott, the very first Green Lantern, back in the 1940s. And I really liked that. I thought that was a really interesting thing, because I thought you have to have something really bad happen for the Lanterns to do a murder investigation, as opposed to just the police, right? So I'm very curious to see what the plot is going to be for this. And hearing him say that he's been training Hal Jordan, John Stewart, for 2 months without wearing the ring is very interesting to me. I find that incredibly interesting. I want to see more of that.
With due respect, we've been training for what, 2 months? And I haven't even worn the ring yet.
I do love the ring. The ring looks so cool. I sent that to Dad. I saw the picture when James Gunn put it up on Instagram earlier, and I thought, I love the ring. A lot of people complain about it. Just get a life, man. It looks so cool. I love it. I think it looks so cool. I love Lanterns, man. You guys know how much I love Green Lantern. I'm so hyped. And that looks so cool. It looks like jewelry. I really like that. It really looks like jewelry. And I like the sort of ringlets we've got here. It's a bit like a tree. I like that. And it's like a sort of, you could look into that philosophy and all that and say it represents something old. You know, like a tree rings represent like the age of the tree. It could represent maybe the wearers, the previous wearers of the ring. It could be how old the thing is, maybe the years it's been in service. I don't know. But I do like that. I think that's very, very cool. And I like the jewelry aspect, the sort of the emerald kind of-ness of the ring with a sort of either a brass or a gold kind of I don't know. I don't know jewelry. I don't know. The thing that holds it in place. I don't know. The lining. I don't know.
Don't get hung up on the jewelry, Junior. You're just a fucking substitute teacher. You're not ready to get up in front of the class until the ring says you are.
So that almost sounds to me like the ring has chosen John Stewart, which obviously, yeah, you'd expect that. But it won't let him wear it until he's sort of ready, which I think is very interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
All right.
I do love that. I do love that.
I could have died.
You want me to train you? I'm training you.
So you wanted me to train you. So that's really interesting. That I keep saying that. I'm sorry. That's like the only like sort of phrase in my vocabulary. But it is fascinating here to see that he said, "You wanted me to train you." And it kind of is this set in the past a bit. This looks kind of maybe like 2000s. I'm basing this on a couple of cars and stuff, but it does look maybe it's not quite as modern as Superman, which is set in 2025. So I don't know. I really don't know. But that's interesting. Wanted me to train you for 2 months. So has he come to Hal Jordan for training? Because obviously Hal Jordan will be world famous as being a Latin. And we know that Latins exist in this world and people know about them. People know about Guy Gardner, people know about Hal Jordan. So I can understand someone, maybe Jon Stewart was chosen by the Ring and it won't speak to him, and therefore he sought out Hal Jordan as a sort of as a teacher. So interesting. Very. I'm curious to see where this is going to go.
I'm training you.
Something is off here. I can feel it.
I do like the element. As I said, I don't know how much of this is true, because with the DCU there is a lot of rumours, there is a lot of hearsay. But as I said, one of the early things was it was supposed to be a murder mystery with Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan investigating a murder mystery. And him saying, there's something off here, I can feel it, is very Phantasm vibes. I like that. It's almost like the Tall Man has kind of been through and kind of ravaged the place, and maybe he has left something in his wake. So it gets me curious about who this big villain, who obviously has stir up stuff. I wonder who that person is. I wonder who that character is. And it seems to maybe infect, maybe in local government, maybe? I don't know. Unless this is from another... So this is the thing with these teasers. You never quite know for sure, do you? But it gets your brain thinking.
This is my town. You're a big shot. Noted. But stay the fuck out of my way.
So... let's just sort of analyse what's going on here. So obviously there's been another... Is this like a sort of serial killer vibe going on here? Or is this maybe just someone that's had an accident on the football field? This is football, isn't it? American football? I don't know. I'm not American. I don't know. Our football is quite different. But it's interesting... Again, sorry, I need to use different words. But I'm curious to see what's going on here. Is this just like one of these guys that's been hurt? I know Jon Stewart... No, is it Jon Stewart is... an athlete? I know Cyborg is. I know Victor Stone is. I can't remember if Jon Stewart is. He probably is. So maybe this is Jon Stewart. Maybe this is just some other person. Maybe this is another murder victim. Who knows? But I don't think it'd be a murder victim if there's all these people in uniform and stuff like that. I reckon that's someone that sort of had an accident on the pitch. Maybe a brain aneurysm or something. Maybe he's been poisoned and it's slow. I don't know. I could be just pulling these things out my arse. I don't know. But because there's so many people here, people in uniform and stuff like that, it looks like that is probably happened. That looks maybe like there's Jon Stewart there, actually. Maybe this has happened on the pitch. More likely than not, I'd say. So,
It's your guts.
I don't know.
It's the way she hates him.
This is a stupid plan.
I like the ring. That's really nice. He's sort of doing a bit of detective work here. Very Batman-like. I like it. I love the Western vibe. I love Western movies. I really like this. So... study the past. Okay. It's an interesting shot. And that looks like a meteorite or something, doesn't it? That looks like something that's boom come to the Earth. Now, I genuinely think that there will be something, if, again, the rumours were to be believed, and it was Alan Scott who was the murdered guy that gets... Because, I mean, it has to be, right? The main thing, if the Latins are investigating something, it has to be huge, right? Why the hell would the Latins be investigating like a murder, like an average human being? Now, obviously, that's tragic. You and I can totally understand that that is a tragedy. But why the hell would Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan be investigating a simple murder, right? Unless it's something bigger. Unless there is something much bigger at stake. So this obviously has to be something huge. It has to be intergalactical. It has to be a threat not to just to humankind, but also the Guardians, the whole Green Lantern Corps, the universe at large. So it makes me genuinely curious about who this villain's going to be. Now, I don't think we actually see that in this trailer, But this is really interesting. This obviously looks like a meteorite. This could be a ship that's crashed. It's not even Abin Sur, because like if it was Abin Sur, this would be at the start of the sort of Hal Jordan journey. But obviously Hal Jordan's sort of past his best, so to speak, at this point. So it can't be that. So I'm very curious to see who this villain is. Who is this person that is committing these crimes that is so dangerous that it's causing the Lanterns to investigate it as opposed to just local law enforcement. I find that very interesting.
That's stupid.
That I don't doubt. The Green Lantern.
I do like the suit. I can't lie. It's not kind of what I was expecting. Now, I don't know if this is Hal Jordan's. I don't know if this is John Stewart. I mean, it's got to be Hal Jordan's, right? Because John Stewart isn't a Lantern yet, so it has to be Hal Jordan's. So it's not quite what I was expecting. I was expecting maybe more of the traditional suit, which I love. I love the black, the white, and the green. I love that suit. But this is a Hal Jordan that's in his, 50s, 60s? So he's had a long time to kind of develop a suit and stuff like that. And it'll probably grow on me, because that was the thing, like the Superman suit, that grew on me. And I'm trying to think, maybe the Pattinson Batsuit, which is now like my favourite Batsuit in all of Batman films. So these suits tend to grow on me. But right now, it's not really hitting. I'm not the biggest fan. I mean, it's only like a sort of like a torso kind of thing, and maybe a shoulder pad and a little bit of the arm here. So it's probably not the fairest thing. I haven't seen him in the suit. But yeah, I don't know. It does look cool. I'm just glad to see the symbol. It looks really cool.
Lantern's oath is to protect people. And we both know I do a better job of this than you.
So that's interesting that he's already. I know I need to use different terminology. I'm sorry. But I like the sort of, not hostility, but the kind of competitive nature of these two. You know, you've got the sort of younger guy who's very much like, oh, you don't know shit, old man, you know, whatever. And we've got the seasoned veteran here who's like, you don't know what you're talking about, you idiot. I like that. That makes a really good, a sort of buddy cop kind of element to this, you know? So I like that.
This is my job.
So there's blood there. So this is my job.
As long as I'm alive, that ain't changing.
Got obviously local law enforcement stuff, I guess.
So take a deep breath, Junior.
You're old.
So it looks almost like we've got like local kind of gangs and stuff fighting here, haven't we? It's not just like intergalactical threats. It's like, obviously we've got like sort of maybe like a gang going on here, like a gang warfare. And is that going to be at the Lanterns? Because that wouldn't really be a threat for Lanterns, right? Surely. Unless they're being groomed by some other big villain who's trying to get them to do their bidding. But there's lots of explosions and stuff like that, and I guess that could be grenades and stuff. But I have the impression that this is going to be a much bigger thing than what is being made up here. And for example, he's looking up there. He's looking at something. Like, what is that he's looking up at? You know? He's looking up there. It's like, it could be like Superman flying or whatever. You know? These teasers like to kind of give us these things and we go, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, that wasn't what I was expecting. So it could just be a nice cameo or something. We don't know. So, but it could be someone flying. It could be a villain. You know? You never know. So
I'm tired.
I'm really curious. I want to know. There's just explosions. I do love that. I do love that, man. I do love that. I just wish there was a bit of a green glow around him. That's all I wish. But man, that is cool. I do like that a lot. I cannot lie. I'm happy for Lanterns content. And there's the Lantern. Looks really wacky. I wasn't expecting that. So, it doesn't look like how it traditionally does. Which, again, I'm all for that. I like a little bit of change. I like it. There's a sort of, again, that sort of bronzy kind of rusted gold kind of thing. And I really like the emerald kind of thing. I do like that. Yeah, that does look cool. I can't lie.
Your time is up.
So, he's just like... So, what is going on there? Hold on a second. So... Who are these guys? So these must be like agents of someone, right? Because I really don't think this is just going to be some sort of conspiracy on on Earth, right? I don't think that's going to be what's happening here. I think this is going to, if the Lands are involved, it's going to be a much bigger storyline. So the fact that we've got this sort of Bill Burr looking guy here, and this fella, and they're both humans, and they've got some doohickey here. I don't know what's going on here, but it's like, I'm very curious that it's humans that are doing this. Now, obviously, I don't expect them to put like aliens maybe in a teaser unless it's like for like a single shot, like we saw with Lobo and the Supergirl one. But I'm still very interested to see that it's just like regular humans sort of being the baddies here.
I don't understand. Who are you exactly?
Hal Jordan, Green Lantern.
Have you ever talked with the other Lanterns?
I'm the only human. They're aliens. One of them's a fucking squirrel.
Yeah, I do like that. That just makes me happy, man. That makes me smile. But I'm just gonna go back now. I know I'm sort of overanalyzing as I do on this channel, as you know.
Have you ever talked with the other Lanterns?
So now that to me could be how John Stewart's like ignorance. Maybe he just doesn't know. Generally doesn't know. But because as I said to you guys before, I think this is set, say, 20 years ago. I don't think this is in the same timeline as Superman. I really don't. Because, and I'll tell you why. Because this line here says to me, either John Stewart's ignorant, he doesn't understand anything, or he doesn't know about lanterns before the ring, right? So he won't know about Guy Gardner, right? Now, as we saw in Superman, Guy Gardner not exactly like a private guy. Obviously, they're funded by, Lord Tech, Maxwell Lord's company, and he's well known. Like we see that in the thing. He's talking to the audience. He's like, "Oh, why isn't anyone clapping?" People that obviously there's an expectation of Guy Gardner as a Lantern. Now, I'm saying, have you ever talked to any of the Lanterns? Have ever? It's like, well, what about Guy Gardner? Why is Guy Gardner not in his mind? Why does he not mention Guy Gardner? Now, obviously, the Lanterns are much bigger than just, what's it called? Just the humans, because there's only like a handful of humans, like 5 so human Lanterns. For the most part, they are various other aliens. So I'm very curious about why Guy Gardner isn't mentioned here. Like, why John Stewart doesn't, see... It's like, have you ever talked to any of the Lanterns? It just seems like such a strange line to me.